the release of a president's budget is usually a pretty big deal. But President Obama's latest budget, released just this morning, well, it hadn't even ginned up very much excitement. Folks just aren't taking it seriously because it's not a very serious document. First of all, it could probably never even pass the Democratic-led Senate. And in some sense, really, that's the point. Rather than put together a constructed blueprint the two parties could use as a jumping-off point to get our economy moving and our fiscal house in order, the president has once again opted for the political stunt, for a budget that's more about firing up the base in an election year than about solving the nation's biggest and most persistent long-term challenges. It would increase taxes by well over $1 trillion in the worst economic slowdown nearly anyone can remember. It would explode spending by $790 billion, forcing us to borrow more money from places like China. As I indicated, it would do almost nothing to address the most serious threats facing our children's futures, and it doesn't even come close to balancing this year. Now, no wonder the president thought the left would love it. But here's my question for the president. What about the middle class? What's in it for them? It seems to me like the president's just about given up on helping folks who are in the middle, folks who feel like Washington doesn't take their concerns and anxieties into consideration anymore. What hope is he giving them that their medical bills won't be as high, that their wages will start going up instead of down? What's in this budget for them except the nagging feeling that they'll just keep getting squeezed? Look, the president's well into his 6th year of trying to fix this economy, his 6th year of trying to tax and spend and regulate our way to prosperity, just as his ideology demands. But this much has to be clear by now. This doesn't work. Since 2009, the government has spent almost $18 trillion, yet millions of middle-class Americans continue to suffer, whether in the unemployment line or in jobs that barely allow them to get by. It's time the president realized that doubling down on the same failed policies is simply not going to work. Yet that's just what this budget proposes to do. We don't need any more election year gimmicks. What's needed is a new approach, a positive strategy that focuses on helping the middle class instead of appeasing the far left. President Obama's still got 2 years left in his presidency. It's not too late for him to try to make a positive difference for folks struggling to pay their bills. But he's got to let go of the left and reach out to the middle. He has to decide that bipartisan solutions are worth fighting for. If he does, he's going to find significant support on this side of the aisle. We want to work with him to get important things done for our country. We always have. We're eager to expand opportunity for the middle class and to build more ladders of opportunity for those who aspire into it. We're eager to enact policies that can create American jobs, approving things like the Keystone Pipeline and medical device tax repeal and important new trade legislation, just to name a few things that we could do together. We're eager to find ways to control spending and put the debt on a path to elimination. We're eager to reform the regulatory state so that the rules coming out of Washington actually work for people other than the bureaucratic class that writes them. There are bipartisan solutions to be had on these types of issues if only the president can put the politics aside for a few minutes and actually work with us, really work with us. Because the kind of unserious budget he put out today, that's just the type of silly politicking we need to get past. After all, why would we want a budget that grows the federal government while the middle class continues to shrink? Washington is doing just fine in the Obama economy, but real Americans deserve a lot better, and we can give it to them if we work together. What I'm saying is this, Mr. President, you've got 2 years left in office. Work with us to make them count.